A beautiful morning to you. This is Ron Janish with andrerwscourse.com. As you can see, it's 7:04 a.m. on Monday. I'm here in beautiful California. Actually, I'm in San Diego. And 7:04 a.m. means that the actual stock market itself in New York has been open for about a little over half hour. So let's take a look at this chart here. For example, this is what we saw last time I made a video last week, and as you know, at that time the market had come down to the reaction line in this area here, and so the suggestion was that it's up we go for a little while. Okay, and so what did she do? Sure enough, she went up to here, which is your center line right there, and here's some kind of a trend line, and right there, and hit both, and then said, that's enough. So it's important to note that, okay, we've got the words buy here and sell here. And, as a course member, it's very important that you recognize this data here as significant and this data here as significant. Okay. There's a video I made up, actually a couple of videos that cover the two criteria that you're looking at in this area here, maybe three, but mainly two that you're looking at in this area here that also is the same as this area here. And that would give you the indication that there's a good probability the market's going to reverse. So, and you also had it in other places. Let's take a look. You had it over here. Okay, no difference. Same criteria. Let's see. Okay. All right. So these are intraday bars. Let's take a look at some other time frames. There we go. And so you also had it over here. And I've got this limit thing up here right now, not because I really want to sell it if it goes up there, but because it does something for the charting aspect. Okay, so let's see what else I have in here. Australian dollar. Now, if you remember the last time, I suggested that it's time to be long the Australian dollar, and at the time, if you remember over here, these were in the red. I think it was about $90 or $100 or so in the red per contract, and that's the way it goes. So now it's no longer in the red, it's in the black or green, whatever color you happen to like best here. And so we have had the Australian dollar go up a while. And when prices were down here, what I did was I sent out a chart to the course members, to the private email group for andrerwscourse.com, and showing them what lines I drew in order to have a real nice understanding of what's going on here. Okay, and it's really pretty geometry that it's so nice. And let's move on to oh, here's one, high grade copper. Real simple. Notice that here you have a center line, and here you have your action point and your reaction point. And so what you had was you had prices going down to the reaction point area. They don't turn there exactly. They just kind of do what they do, and in this case they went down past it a little bit and then went up, and now it's down we go to the next reaction line. Heating oil. Let's take a look at heating oil. Here's the heating oil once again. Here we have the center line, and here we have your action point and your reaction. And once again, you've got prices going a little past the reaction line, and then up we go, and says, nah, I'm going to go down some more. So that's your heating oil down to the next reaction line. Now, this one's a little different. If you remember, last week in the last video I posted, I said, hey, this guy here, I'm looking to go long, so let's do what we need to do here, and looking for some kind of breakout to the upside. And we can see that prices went down to the ML, and you also had some kind of a trend line coming in this area here. And so they've gone up a bit. And as a result, we wound up putting a position on, and this is where we are right now. Let's move on to what is this? What is this? This is the Russell Index, TF, the Russell Index. Now, this is one where I suggested that this has a bit more to go. And so down here is your reaction line. Right? Here's your center line. Here's your action line, and here's your reaction line. And so they're down here at the reaction line is where my guess is prices are going to go. And this will take a little while longer. Okay. So, whether it takes another day or two or three, we'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look. Yeah, and see right here, 1, 2, 4, 6, 40 in this particular account, which would have been right over here. Okay, so now normally on an intraday basis, I'll look at this on an hourly chart, and sometimes it's just easier to see it. There we go, 1, 2, 4, 6, 40. That would have been over here. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Ooh, the bonds. Bonds are kind of cool. Now, bonds have been showing a considerable bit of strength today, and there's good reason for that. And you just draw your trend line here, and prices came nicely down to it and bounced off of it. And if you look at the pattern in here, as an Andrew's course member, you'll know what to look for, and this will help you understand why we're getting such a nice bounce in this area here. So I, for one, will not be adding on new positions this week because I'm looking at traveling next week. So I will not be available to monitor the markets and all that kind of thing. So anyway, keep an eye on the bonds here. We could get a nice little move to the upside. As for the stock market, well, this one's gone down to the reaction line, back up to the center line, and now more than likely is set for going down a bit more. So anyway, this is Ron Janisch with andrerwscourse.com. We're going to have a live seminar. We're going to have it down the coast a ways. And those of you that are coming, I will see you there. Otherwise, we'll probably have another live seminar in December, right in the last week or so. And looking forward to seeing everybody there. And in the meantime, you really don't even have to travel to take the Andrews course. Not a bit, because what's covered in the videos is much more than we cover in the live seminar. So, and everybody who's an advanced course member has had access to the videos. So, we'll see you later, and good trading to you.